Okay, hello. This is about why photographers need a website and the benefits to having a website and more information on if you need a website. Well, first off, I am Amy. I am a Pacific Northwest blogger and photographer and website designer. I have been doing websites for people for over 5 years, and my niche is photographers, small businesses, and entrepreneurs. I have been working on websites for 9 years, and I've done over 100 websites for people. I um, I try to focus on the small businesses, the lower budget, people with lower budgets because they deserve really cool websites too. And so, yep, that's kind of where I am at. I'm in the Pacific Northwest, and yeah, what I discovered when I started doing more photography dates or play dates, as I like to call it, with photographers, they started asking me website questions. So then I actually started this thing called like your DIY website. It's where we work together. I have specific templates that are made for photographers, and we work together on updating the website. I do the back end stuff. I teach the SEO stuff. I teach you how to blog. I teach you how to update it. But initially, I put the template together. I connect it to the domain and I do all that back end stuff and then show you how to upkeep it. That way, you don't have to keep spending more and more money on a website. You just have this wonderful, beautiful, functioning SEO optimized website. And all you got to do is keep up with it. So, that's kind of how this all started. We're going to talk about these things here, and let's get started. Oh, why have a website? Well, some people use social media as a way to connect with people, but social media, we do not own social media, and it can be hacked or taken away at a moment's notice. I have a friend who hasn't posted in 3 months, and they just deleted his Instagram and Facebook and said violated terms. I'm pretty sure it got hacked or something, but he's still trying to get it back. It's a pain. With a website, you own your website, you own your domain, you own your hosting, your website. And so no one's going to take it away. It's a security thing. It's also one place for people to see exactly what you're offering and who you are and why they should hire you. This is like a free marketing tool that works 24/7 for you that you don't have to do. You don't have to, you just got to go in and update it and people will contact you. It's wonderful. It also makes you look professional. So if you are trying to do a photography for like weddings, portraits, businesses, whatever you're doing, it gives your business legitimate, like a legit credibility. So people know that you're like the real deal, not some kind of Joe Schmo trying to like take deposits from people but not delivering services. So it makes you look like you got some street credit there. Um, so what you're going to have on your website is a variety of things. It's going to have all the services that you're offered. It's going to have your price and rates. You can decide whether you want to put your price and rates. It depends on what you're doing, how you're doing it, and how flexible you are. It has your contact information. It has a way to for people to email you, phone number, your socials, everything, LinkedIn, whatever. It has everything on there. If you have a booking calendar, I use Calendarly, and so people will be able to go on my calendar, book a time. I get an email, they get a Zoom link, and then we're able to chat. It has testimonials or kind words, so you have, again, you're building that credibility, and you want to make sure that people know that you have been doing this and people have good things to say about what you're doing. And it has your about page, which is super important. You have to be comfortable with your face being on your website and for you to talk about yourself because based on who you are, they're going to hire you. If you have nothing about on your about page, they might not trust you to, shoot their wedding or shoot their family in a remote place in Rainier or something. So you want that. Word of mouth is another way to have credibility too. But if people are Googling Pacific Northwest wedding photographer and you come up, they want to know that you're like legit. Um, First off, what is a domain? Because there's two things going on with a website. You have the domain and you got the hosting company. A domain is your street address. Your website is your home. So it is a something you get on like GoDaddy or Namecheap. Google domains do not exist anymore. I think they're owned by Bluehost. I can't remember. Um, they pretty much charge the same. It's like $15 for a year and your domain matters. You don't want to use, org because that's usually like a nonprofit. .net, if you can get away with .com, that's the best bet. Most photographers use their name and then photography. So it's usually not an issue unless you have a super common name that is commonly spelled. It's not an issue. Like Amy Danielson is kind of common-ish. But the way I spell it is different. So I got all the domains. I got Amy Danielson photography, Amy Danielson designs, which is my website business and all that kind of stuff. You want your domain name to be something that people can easily remember as well. All right, sorry about that. Okay, let's go back to the presentation. All right, so yes, when it comes to your domain, I would highly suggest going with GoDaddy. Having all kinds of problems today. Okay, so yeah, I would highly suggest going with GoDaddy. They are based in Phoenix. They have really amazing customer service. And when you're working with a website designer like myself or someone else, they have a contributor access. So what that means is that you don't have to give these people your login information to get into GoDaddy because we do need access to your GoDaddy account to connect your domain to your website. But it makes it real easy for you to give that, I think it's called delegate access on GoDaddy. And that way it's just a really easy platform to work with and it's super secure. Every time we log in, we have to have like a code text message to us. And so that's just like an extra security that they have. And I personally love GoDaddy. As far as platforms, I primarily have worked on Showit. I started off on Wix and I did not like it because of a variety of reasons. I also don't think it's very user friendly and easy to SEO up. It wasn't easy to SEO update, but it has been a few years since I've been on Wix. Then I was on WordPress and I got a theme and then the theme expired and then it was a pain in the butt because I had to like start over. So then I got frustrated and I found Showit. And Showit is a platform that was built with photographers and creatives in mind. It was made for small businesses and photographers. And so it is very aesthetically pleasing. I will end up showing you at the end what my website looks like and what I like about it. Um, Squarespace is okay. It's not my preferred. Again, there is a dozen ways to SEO optimize on Showit that these other websites don't have, like Squarespace. WordPress has those options, but it is so complex that you should just hire an SEO person to really up your SEO on your WordPress website. Pixie Set is actually should not be on this list. I forgot to take it off and I spelled it wrong. But it is a platform to sell prints and stuff, or not prints, but portraits and when you're doing portrait photography. And we're gonna go over that a little bit more. When it comes to websites, before you even start your website, you are going to want to make sure that it is, sorry, I'm stopping my stuff from digging. You are going to want to have your logo done and figure out what your branding colors are. I highly suggest, this has nothing to do with the website, but before you dive in and make a website and create a business, I would definitely get a business license with the state of Washington. It's pretty easy. You can Google how to get your business license in Washington State, and it'll go through all that with you. I also would highly suggest insurance if you were doing either workshops or outings, or even if you have equipment that you're afraid might get broke when you're out and about, they will cover that. Insurance will cover your workshops and it will cover $15,000 worth of camera equipment in case that happens. So it's always good. It ended up being cheaper than getting it added to my like homeowners. I think you can add it to your homeowner's insurance, the camera stuff, but that doesn't still cover the workshops. I think it was like 375 for the year through Professional Photographers of America. So definitely worth looking into. When it comes to your website, let's talk about search engine optimization. So, search engine optimization is how your website ranks on Google. And there are lots of factors that go into this, and there is no one and done shortcut, get it done quickly option. So, it doesn't matter who you are, what clout you have, how much money you have, you are not going to really rank on Google overnight. There's a lot that goes into it. It's how your website is built. It's how you wordsmith your website. It is your domain. It is, are you showing authority? If you are constantly doing blogs or discussions about wedding photography, you're going to be an authority on wedding photography. Um, and specifically you want to niche like a location, like Pacific Northwest photographer, um, Bellingham photographer, Olympia photographer, Seattle photographer, Portland photographer. Definitely kind of niche down. Um, there's you can rename your photos so it is helping with your SEO. Blogs actually will increase, you are 800 times more likely to rank on Google if you have a blog than those without a blog. Most photographers, I would say, do not have a blog. So by you creating or building a website and you start blogging right away, then you can definitely get a good start to start ranking on Google. If you're thinking like, I'm a photographer, what am I going to blog about? There's plenty. Each time you go out, if you're a wedding photographer, do a gallery and do a little story about the wedding on your blog. Name drop some locations, talk about the bride and the groom and the family and the wedding photography. You can do a blog on favorite poses at a wedding. Um, you can do like top 10 places to shoot a wedding, things like that. If you are a portrait photographer, say you're doing seniors, you can do, 10 parks that I love to do senior photos, 10 poses that um 10 poses that you can use for senior photos. Um, Things to bring when you're doing a senior photo shoot, props, extra change of clothes, um, numbers, bubbles, whatever. You could do a blog about anything. And by them reading the blog and by Google reading the blog and seeing that you are super helpful for your clients, then you're going to start ranking faster. It's a whole thing. And when I help people with their website, I offer to help people with how to get started on a blog. I can give you a list of like 20 things to blog about, depending on what your niche is. no problem. I have no problem doing that. My goal is for you to be able to feel pretty confident in your website and just be able to know that you can update it yourself. Also, Google loves when you update a blog or a website. So as long as you're constantly updating photos and wordsmithing and all that stuff, as long as, if you don't log into your website for a year, you're gonna drop in ranking. But if you're constantly updating even like the little tiny things, you're gonna start moving up. Also, the more eyes on your website, the longer they're on your website, it's good. So many factors, and just feel free to hit me up with any questions. You might have a blog. I mean, you might have a website and you just need to know how to update it. I have no problem. I don't even charge for that. If you want to have a chat, I'll just let you know. I'll look at your website, make some suggestions, and you go from there. So just to let you know, the website is a website. It is not a storefront. It is not a place for people to get photos if they purchase photos. They're not only are you paying for the domain, you're paying for a website, and then you could possibly paying for like a third party thing depending on what you're doing. So, PicTime, Shootproof, Pixie Set, those are really good for people who are selling portraits. Say you have like a family session, you do your photos, you edit them, you upload them to Shootproof, then you give that link to your guest, and you can either set it up so they can pick their 10 favorite ones for one price, or you can set it up so they can just download the whole album or whatever. And for like, I know Shootproof and Pixie Set, I'm not sure about PicTime, but those two I'm pretty sure have a monthly fee. I know Shootproof does because that's what I use. SmugMug is more like you're selling products. So you might be selling like mugs or pillows or whatever. Prints, I think they have a charge plus a percentage because they do the processing of the cards and stuff. So that is something that you need to figure out what you want to do as far as what you want to sell, and then find out the best third party to sell it. Um, websites are like a landing page to put all your services and information together. It is not a storefront. Um, the only exception would that I could think of right now is probably Shopify. However, Shopify is not going to be ranking super high on Google because you don't have that creative for one, you don't have the creative freedom that you have on Showit. And also, you don't have all those really cool SEO tools that WordPress and Showit has. So, I am biased to Showit and or WordPress. The other ones, my least favorite is Bluehost. If you're on Bluehost, they rip people off. Get off right away. Just saying. Anyway. Writing and wordsmithing your website is something that you're going to want to do before you start a website. You want to figure out what your catchphrase is. You want to make it clear what you do, what you're offering. You want to go over all the details with them. You want to talk about your services and you want to talk about your personal life too. You want your face on there. You want your about section, either like a page or like a big section. Because again, people are trusting you to do their photos. Um, they want to know who you are. They want to know that you're not gonna like, I don't know, do something to them. They want to know that, like, even like I was doing senior photos and this girl shows up who I never even met. And I was just thinking for a set, like I'm working with the high school and the high school had recommended her to me. So she probably felt safe. But like if she was Googling me, she doesn't know if I'm actually like a woman or that I'm not some creepy person. So, it's to have a website and be able to see that this is an actual person with an actual business license with people that have actually worked with this person, it gives people a bit of a security. And it might, it's just, again, it's all about the street credit. You want to know, you want people to know that you're like legit and you're not like some scammer or something. Um, before my recommendation, before you even start a website, um, get a domain and do a coming soon page because the longer your website is live, the better SEO ranking you're going to get. But I would make sure you write out your services. I would suggest doing this, but it's up to people to do it if they want to do it or not. I would suggest having a page or a section that goes through the process. How do I book with you? What are you requiring? So if you know, to book with me, we have to get you on the schedule. You have to have a deposit. You need to chat with me when I do my group trips. No one's signing up for my group trips unless we have a conversation on the phone. There is no texting or whatever, unless I know them. Like if it's someone that I know and they're texting me going sign me up and I'm like, okay, because I know them. But no, I'm not having someone I've never talked to on the phone come on my group because I want to make sure that they're a good fit for the group that they're joining. So you have what you're comfortable with doing, and so you want that laid out. Cancellation policies. What if it snows? What if it's windy? What if it's raining? You need to know, you need to have all that, or you should have all that on the website. That way you have full transparency and people know what to expect. And when it comes to a lot of this stuff, stick to short paragraphs and stick to bullet points because no one likes reading novels on their mobile. Because, by the way, like 80-90% of the people who are looking at your website are on mobile. Um, I think that's about it. I went into a lot more detail on the Q&A, but no one wants to watch a 2 hour um, video about this stuff. So I kind of gave you the quick and easy versions of the chat I had earlier. If you have any questions or you want to know anything, feel free to reach out. I do not charge if you have questions. I do a lot of stuff for free, actually. Um, and even my current clients, twice a year, I will offer updates for free, like a half an hour with our updates. My goal in helping people is to get people started. I have seen a lot of people get taken advantage of, and it just really upsets me because most of the people who are taken advantage of are people who don't have a lot of money to spend on marketing. And that's why they get taken advantage of because you don't know what you don't know until you don't know it, if that makes sense. All right, so we're going to go to my website and I want to show you a few things. So I want to go to my. All right, so this is my photography blog, and I just want to go over kind of like the home page so you know kind of what's going on. I have a few things going on my page, so it's not just my photography, it's my blog too. And this started off as a blog and it's still a blog. I have almost 100 blogs on here. So I rank pretty high on Google for Pacific Northwest blogger and Pacific Northwest photographer. And because I blog about both. So, as you can see, I have my big photo at the Tetons, and I have it very clear what I am and what I do. Pacific Northwest, adventure and photography, photographer and blogger. And then when it comes to branding, you can do a logo on Canva, but you don't have a trademark to that logo. There is a lady that was on the last call. I mean, that was on the Q&A that her niece is a graphic designer and does freelance stuff. So if you are interested in your own logo, she's going to find out from her niece if she's still moonlighting or what do they call it? I guess moonlighting. side gig. So she does it pretty inexpensive. So it's worth looking into if you need a logo. Even if you don't want to do a logo, you can always just do something like your name in cursive and call that your logo. That's fine. You don't need um you don't need like the pictures and stuff. The reason why I did my logo the way I did is because I'm in the Pacific Northwest. And so we got the mountains because we are covered in mountains. We got the trees, and I'm an astrophotographer, so I got the stars. And so that's kind of it basically represents what I do. So because I do so much Aurora, I actually talked to my graphic designer. I might end up doing a couple. We haven't figured out how, but I might end up having a logo with Aurora. Stay tuned. But anyway, okay, so here's my hero. It says what I do. And then here, whether you're looking for a Pacific Northwest adventure or like to enjoy nature and dark sky photography, you've come to the right place. So here I'm telling people you're here and this is what I have going on. So if these are the two things that you're interested in, keep scrolling. This is outdated. I just got back from the Midwest, so I gotta update it. But I always have like what I'm currently doing. There was a blogger years ago, I think it's like the Blonde Abroad or something. And I really like that she always had where she was. And again, it goes along with the SEO. If you're always updating your website, you're ranking on Google. So every time I go on a longer trip, if I'm going somewhere for a weekend, I probably don't update this, but I'm not really going anywhere until after the new year. So I'll probably put running around the Pacific Northwest doing the holiday stuff. And I love decorating, so I even have like holiday elements that I will throw up here, snowman and stuff. Yeah. Anyways, then I have my about section. I decided not to do an about page on this blog because on this website I have more than 20 pages on this website because of photo galleries. Different photo galleries have their own pages, and I'm still updating. It's a huge job. However, the more pages you have, the more you're going to rank, and yada, yada, yada. So I decided no one is going to read my about page because I have a billion other pages for them to read. So here's my about section, and it's basically telling people who I am and what I do. You know, I chase lighthouses, I camp, and I do nature adventures. I love the Olympic Peninsula. I love island hopping. I love dark sky and landscape photography, Fairbanks, Alaska adventures, photo group trips, workshops, whatever, Oregon coast. I love the Oregon coast. So, and then I have exactly where to go for each right there. You want photography, you want a blog, you want my workshops, pick one. Pick one. And then I'm started doing portraits. I'm doing free senior photos for all the people, for all the South Thurston County and Lewis County kids, for anyone who wants that. Just because, man, as a person who has a senior, there's so many expenses. So if you could save on something, that's great. Um, and then I have a little blur about my group trips. And then I got another thing about like my history, where I come from, why I love the outdoors and stuff, and where I learned how to do photography, which was actually in Bali. So it wasn't a bad place to learn photography. Um, and then my blog, recent collabs, who I've worked with and stuff, and then a way for them to connect with me. So, again, this is lots of pages. I got my blog, I got my Pacific Northwest page, and I have complete freedom on how I want my website designed. And that's why I like Show It. There's no other platform that's easier, I promise. Elementor is a close second on WordPress, but Show It for the win, man. They've been around a long time. They are based in Phoenix, Arizona. When you chat with them, you get immediate help on the weekdays. Sometimes it might take a little longer, middle of the night or on weekends, but you are talking to people here in the United States and they know what they're talking about. They know what they're doing and they're fabulous. And so, yeah. But anyway, if you have any questions at all, let me know. A couple of the girls want to do a website, and I'm going to talk to them because I might actually do this winter a photography retreat. I mean, a website retreat, which means we go away for 2 or 3 nights. And I basically give you your homework, I like have your logo ready, have your wordsmithing ready. I ask specific questions for the wordsmithing, um, get their Showit account all set up, have the domain, and we spend like 2 or 3 days like at a house where we share a location or go to a hotel and with a meeting room and knock this stuff out. And I've done this before. Um, I know how to do it better now because the first time it was so overwhelming for everyone, but this time I know exactly how to do it. So it's not as overwhelming. There's a lot of homework on the front part, on the front side, but then when you get there, you're basically putting it together, and I am telling you and showing you and answering all your questions on how to upkeep this website, which is so valuable. So you're not having to pay someone to update your website. These Show It is completely backed up, and you own your website. So there's no theme, like you're working with a theme, but these themes don't expire. Like on WordPress, if you buy a theme, it could expire, and if it expires, you won't get help. You'll have to like literally code it, and no one's got time for that. So you want to have it easy, and nothing will ever change. Nothing. And there is a 20% discount if you pay by the year versus monthly. And I do have a code that will give you the first month free if you use my code. So anyways, if you have any questions, feel free to hit me up, Messenger or email. I rarely check Instagram. I'm really bad about that, but I'm trying to get better. But yeah, hit me up, and if you have any questions, let me know, and I'll be more than happy to answer them. And if you are interested in a retreat, I'm actually thinking January or the beginning of February, that soon, because that's when everyone wants to do their websites. They want to do it in the winter because the weather's too bad. We can't go out and do our outdoor photography. So it's after the holidays. Usually things are cheaper to rent, and yeah, I'm down. So anyways, let me know. Thanks. Bye.